Here's a quick little video. The bottom wings I didn't show you because it's the same old, same old. But now I'm trying to get them attached to the fuselage. That's the next biggest problem. So I've anchored the fuselage and I've measured using a little proportion how much I need of dihedral. Put some glue on that little tab and some on the wing root on the forward part. And I've test fit this about 16 trillion times. And I'm putting it in there, and then I'm putting my little piece that happens to be the right, it's a little clamp, but it happens to be the right dihedral. And I'm using the building board as a way to sort of see if the leading edge is square and straight and perpendicular to the body. Some people use lots of jigs. I tend to use the Mark 1 eyeball, unless it's really complicated. And so far, I've never had a huge problem. But a fair amount of this is just being very careful and, watching, making sure it's straight. And what I'm trying to do here is hold that, it's just on with the tacky glue. But what it does is if you let it sit there for a while, you end up getting something that just kind of sticks in place and holds. Then you can go back and do some more work. So like, for example, I want to make sure that I pull the wing forward. So I put something there. I use it to push forward. And I'm also going to weigh down that trailing edge to make sure it's down where it's supposed to be. So I'll have the right angle. I don't want wash in or wash out on that wing panel. But there it is. It's dried. And what you can see is, just sort of the general shape of it. And I haven't added the ailerons yet, but I wanted to get this on. So without the ailerons, thinking that the ailerons might get in the way of being able to see things visually. But I'm using those yellow lines to give me an idea of what's straight. Making sure the dihedral looks even, and I think it's just about right. And there'll be a little wiggle room. I can do a few things to make it a little bit better. But what I did in this case now is let this tacky glue dry for a bit, maybe 10-15 minutes, so that it holds. And there I've changed things around. So that piece there was holding the trailing edge down, and then the tight bond was holding the leading edge forward. And now when I take off my dihedral brakes, you see that she don't droop. Looks pretty good. Now what I do is do some more checking to make sure everything is just so. Making sure things are as square as I can make it. Perfection would be great, but there it is. And again, I can probably put them up a little bit more if I need to. But then what I do is lock it in place with some thick super glue. I drop some super glue down in there, some gap filling glue, get off some of the little bits that I went too far on. It actually is hidden pretty well. I hit it with a little zip kicker, and that locks everything in place pretty instantaneously. And now I end up having a real, a nice actual solid wing. The good thing about these models is that you're not flying them. You're not, as my mother used to say, doing chin-ups on them, pull-ups on them. You're just setting them around so you can look at them, and they have to be strong enough to hold their structure, but they don't need to be made out of titanium. And that makes it nice. The leading edge is looks pretty good. Everything is even. It's perpendicular to the side of the fuselage. It's perpendicular to the stabilizer. Everything looks parallel and or perpendicular the way it's supposed to. And I'm just checking on it a little bit. And that was kind of a part I was a little worried about. I checked these one more time to make sure, but they look pretty good. The real airplanes were, rigged by riggers, and they probably weren't exactly the same plane to plane. They're dang close, of course, but I have a feeling this will be fine. Won't know how everything really is until we put on the interplane struts. But you can see at the wing root, it looks nice from the top. And that's really the most important thing to look at. The bottom, I can shore those up or kind of hide some stuff a little bit, but it really doesn't look that bad. And you can see that, again, I'm just trying to show you that it's perpendicular to the fuselage. And it's got good, like I said, wash in or wash out. It's straight. And then it's fun to take the top wing and stick it on there. And that's about where the wing goes. Approximately. It goes really close to the front. man, it's going to look cool. I really want to try to get the interplane struts on tonight. Because then it's, then it really looks good.